A new coach full of passion and fired up for the next chapter. We finish up our talk with head coach Michael Roof. Also, 3 years at varsity and time to start leading the team. We talked to Chris Cook about next season's home opener against Park City. And finally, a club that is growing by the hundreds. We talked to Park City Pickleball right now on the Scoreboard. Hey everyone, welcome into the Scoreboard. We are going to finish up our chat with Coach Roof right now. Are you going to be the interim coach? Are they planning to make a change at the head coach position, or are you going to stay as the head coach for right now?
So right now I'm listed as the interim coach. The goal is to do something here at South Summit with these kids and with the program that makes it so that at the end of the year it's just a no-brainer and they just take that title off. I want to create a program here for the next 20 years at South Summit that gets all these kids involved. It has a high level of success, but it also turns kids into great young men, right? Great individuals that can go out into society and be a great success in whatever they do.
As a player who might be watching, as a parent who might be watching, what can South Summit fans expect from you as a head coach specifically? What do you bring to the table in terms of attitude, in terms of coaching style, things like that?
So my coaching style, I am a very animated coach. I'm a jump up and down on the sideline, run out on the field kind of guy. I've already got somebody set up that's going to be in charge of grabbing my belt whenever I try to run too far, right? I get really into it. When the kids start to find that success and we start marching down the field, I am jumping up and down and running with them. We're going to keep a lot of the same look that we've had in the past. We've got a few changes that we want to bring to the table as far as offense, the way it'll look. But the basic scheme, we're still going to be a spread offense team. We're still going to have a really strong defense, right? We've got a lot of weapons this year that can be very effective for us on both sides of that ball. So as far as championship level football, not a whole lot's going to change. We've been a high level team for years. We're gonna keep that going.
11-1 last year. Mm-hmm. You lost 17 seniors this past year.
Yep.
What can we look forward to in terms of the season? Where are you looking? Where is the ceiling for this team right now?
Oh, these kids can absolutely. The top's the limit, right? The sky's the limit. These kids, the talent level, we've been waiting for this team for a few years. Right? They came in, these kids have been playing together. Our junior class is big. Our senior class, we've got 12 kids, but they've been playing together since 3rd and 4th grade in Little League football, and they've been learning how to react with each other. I mean, these kids have really prepared themselves for this season, and they absolutely have every capability to play for and win a state championship. The big thing is we just got to make sure that they believe that.
Who are some of the bigger names that the team is going to especially have to prepare for?
Summit Academy in our region. Summit Academy, Emory, they're going to be good. Providence Hall is making a big push. They returned some seniors. They're going to be tougher than they were last year. And then in the South region, you've always got Beaver, San Juan. I mean, they're always tough. Delta looks really good this year. So it's not going to be just some breeze that we're going to roll through, right? In years past, maybe it's been Summit Academy and South Summit and San Juan and Beaver. I don't think it's going to necessarily be just that cut and dry this year. I think there's 6 or 7 teams here at the top of 2A that are going to be difficult.
I'd love to ask you a little bit about your Week 2 matchup with North Summit. We also cover their team.
Okay.
We are really looking forward to that one. I wanted to ask you specifically, are you excited? Are you looking forward to the environment that's going to be in Colville that Friday night?
I'm really excited about it. As a kid who grew up going to South Summit, I've loved that rivalry my whole life. They do a lot of really good things down at North Summit. as far as not just football, right, but just the environment, the community. My brother lives over in North Summit. His kids played for North Summit. So we have that good connection. Coach Holmes, I've known him for a long time. Years ago, I ran their pool before I went in the military, and he's a great friend. He's a great man and does a great job as a coach. They're going to be tough. For years and years, he had that program running really well, and they're coming right back.
Hey everyone, right now we are here with one of the longest running football players in Heber Valley. We are here with Chris Cook of Wasatch High School. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yep. It's good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. We are super happy to talk to you today. We wanted to talk to you a little bit about this upcoming season. You're 3 weeks away from your first game here on this field at Park City High School. How's the team looking? How are you feeling about the season?
Good. I mean, we got a lot of young guys that have been putting in the work. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of young talent on this team. Are there any specific young players who you're looking forward to?
Yeah, Matt Kelson, the quarterback who you had on here. Looking forward to him. I mean, he's going to have to prove himself, but I'm looking forward to him. Carter Bucad, who will be an upcoming junior, who I'm looking forward to too. He's really been balling out at the 7-on-7s that we've been having. And then we have a couple offensive linemen that I'm looking forward to. And then, I mean, new defensive guys. We have quite a bit of returners from about each side of the ball. So we'll see how that goes. But
considering that you're a running back, probably the most important position for you is your offensive line. How good are they? How are they going to be able to open up holes for you? How good is this offensive line? I know they won that big 7-on-7 tournament a couple of weeks ago now, I think it was. How do you feel the offensive line is looking?
Good. I mean, last year, nobody on the offensive line was returning. It was a brand new line from guys who have been here 3 years, veterans, so it was a very big difference. And that's kind of when I recognized how big of a deal my offensive line was, because a little bit of struggle. And but we got 3 or 4 guys coming back that with some experience, so it should be better, and I'm excited for it. So.
Speaking of experience, we mentioned it right before you turned on the cameras. This is the first time that we're kind of going into a season where you probably have the youngest team you've ever had, and you are probably the longest tenured player on this team. How is your leadership going to have to change this next year?
I've always been a quiet guy when I'm, especially like in the team, but I need to take on a different role. Especially, I mean, I've talked to coaches and my parents, and I just have a responsibility to make myself and talk to people and let them know and kind of be a mentor for them. So
I watched some of your highlights. You are a very fun, shifty player. You can turn on a dime. It's unbelievable to watch. Who are some of your biggest role models, players that you've looked up to and watched as you've grown up?
My favorite running back was Saquon Barkley. Coming out of college, I'd watch him. He always just super shifty, just like the way he played the game, and I love Christian McCaffrey too. Those two are probably my favorite ones.
How long have you actually played football yourself?
I started in the 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, a lot of kids usually start a little bit earlier than that, but you're already here, and again, you're going to be one of the longest running players on this team. What have you learned from maybe your sophomore year up until right now as a senior? I know it's gone by fast, but what are some of the things that you've learned from when you were in the 10th grade to now going into 12th grade?
Things I've learned, especially you got to put in the work. I mean, I was going out of my freshman year, and we had Coach Sanford here. At the time, he said, you put on some pounds, and you have a really good shot with starting running back, because we had Zach Thacker, who was at the time leaving. And so I was like, all right. So I put on 30 pounds from 150 to about 180, and then it wasn't necessarily good weight, but, I mean, you got to put on the weight. And so ended up doing that, and then I just wanted more. Every year I'm just in the gym. And then I ended up gaining 10 more pounds this last year. But I just work hard, do your best. I mean, the speed of the game slows down for me, especially, going freshman to varsity as a sophomore, definitely super quick. That was the biggest thing. But now it's just normal to me now. But
we talked to Matt Kelson just a week ago, and he talked to me specifically about how excited he was for the Friday Night Lights. But I did mention to him, just 2 years ago, you were playing Pee Wee football, and now you're going to be playing under the Friday Night Lights. What was that transition like for you?
For me, I had a really rough start. So I went in my first play, ended up getting the air knocked out of me by a huge Park. I don't remember his name, but and then went out, and then I came back in, had about a 15-yard run, then fumbled the ball. So back to back, it was pretty rough. And then I had Coach Coburn take me to the side and kind of give me a little talk, and basically just tell me to grow up. And then I came down here and scored about a 20-yard touchdown, and then started ever since. So it's kind of rough.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's got to be kind of rough. I mean, is the pressure bigger? Does it feel bigger once you have, the student sections here and everyone's going crazy, especially for a game like in 3 weeks when Park City's here? I'm assuming that their student section is going to be just as loud.
Yeah. I don't really, honestly, I don't even notice the stands. I mean, I kind of just do it. I've always just tried to do what I can do and control what I can control. I sometimes I get in my head and just am too focused, and I kind of just need to let myself loose and just have a little bit more fun.
What is the most fun thing for you about football? What's your favorite part?
I just like the energy. I like the competitiveness. I just like the contact. It's just nothing better than football.
This next season is going to be difficult. You've lost, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Peter Muslar, Darius Edwards, Brecken Bowen, Kazon Villa is left now. What were some of those guys, and how much did they impact the team? And are there people that you think are going to be able to replicate the impact that they had last year?
Yeah, I mean, Law, Jaron, Josh, Peter, all great players. But we got Crew Erickson, who's a returning wide receiver, who put on 20 pounds from last year, who's about 6'1", 6'2", 190. So I'll be looking for him, and you guys. But, as far as corners, we got some new guys coming up that I'm really impressed with that have the speed and technique. Wide receivers, a lot of young guys that have talent. They'll just have to show up, but I believe in them they can. But
3 weeks from now, Park City. It's going to be a big game. It's probably going to be the biggest game of the year, if I may say so, at least for us up there in Park City. I wanted to ask you specifically, how do you see that game playing out, and what are some of the keys to victory as you're here going to be on your home turf?
The keys to victory is just nonstop, just go, go, go. Just don't let off the gas. They're always tough, and it's a fun game. It's one of my favorite games to play. No hard feelings down in Park City, but it's just fun. The energy's fun. Everybody comes out. Just a good time. So,
how is the no huddle offense, do you think, is going to treat this young team?
I think it'll be good. We practice it every day. Just go, go, go. You definitely got to be in a little bit better shape because, I'll run 10, 5 yards, set the ball down, run back. It's no breaks. Especially for the receivers that running clear down the field and then running back. So, I think they'll be all right.
Final question for me. How many touchdowns are you predicting for yourself this year? You had 8 your junior season, 9 this last year. What do you think this year?
Let's go 15.
All right. Chris Cook, catch him here in 3 weeks, lighting up the Wasatch football field. Chris, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Right now, we are here with Greg Leitzke, the president of the Park City Pickleball Club. Greg, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
We are super excited to talk to you because pickleball seems to be one of the fastest growing sports in the entire country. Is that correct?
That is correct. And Park City it's growing almost more rapidly than the whole country. We started this pickleball club 3 years ago and we had 30 members, and today we're over 1,000 members. So it's growing so fast, it's very difficult almost for everybody to keep up. The city, county, pickleball courts, everything.
So as the president of this club, you've got to be pretty busy knowing that you have 1,000 players on your hands here.
Well, we try to make it simple though, because really we only have 2 goals for our club. One is to speak as one voice, trying to get the city and the county to build us better and bigger facilities. But really the second goal is to help people find people of their same ability level so that when they go out and play, they can play at that level versus going in and, there might be people that are very, very good and some people are just beginners. But as a club, we try to divide that up so everybody can play at their own level and have just as much fun.
So it's more of a fun type of thing. There's not a whole lot of competitiveness here when you come and play. That's not really the culture?
Well, it depends who you're playing with. Some of these people are very seasoned tournament professionals that play a lot of tournaments trying to win gold medals, and it's very competitive. To the people that maybe on a lower level is that they can't wait every day to get up and go socialize with all their friends and just play pickleball as a reason to go out and visit them.
Yeah.
The people who are more competitive, how often are they competing and where are they competing?
Well, they compete, mostly it's probably regionally, but for example, typically there's a major tournament once or twice a month, anywhere from California to Arizona. In fact, next week I'm going to Bend, Oregon to compete in a tournament. And these tournaments will have anywhere from 500 to 1,000 players there, all at different levels, different age brackets. And they're very popular. In fact, in August, into August in Brigham City, they're having a tournament with 1,400 players, and all the top pros from all over the world will be there competing.
Unbelievable. And so how does one get to that level? I mean, obviously you have to be good at pickleball, but how do you even get to that prestige, I should say?
Well, it depends. Most of the pros are divided in two different brackets. They're either under 50 or over 50. The pros under 50 are really all coming out of tennis, really college tennis programs. And it doesn't take them long to be very, very good at it because their skills in tennis really translate well to pickleball. But you see people playing pickleball in that level. They're ex-Davis Cup players from tennis. All people have been ranked as high as 10th in the world in tennis and now playing pickleball professionally in the States. But then you have the more active adult community that's over 50, and there's a huge influx of those folks that came in not only from tennis, but other paddle backgrounds that are playing in the professional level. Right now there's like 40 pickleball players that are professionals that can really just make a living playing pickleball. But it's continuing to grow, and sponsorship money, tournament money continues to grow. So as that happens, more and more people professionally are trying to make a living and just go play every week.
That sounds like such a fun way to make a living is through playing pickleball. How did you start playing pickleball?
Really, it's kind of, Kathy Pedersen was a pickleball ambassador here in town. She grabbed me off the tennis courts at Willow Creek. I played one day and found out not only that I liked the sport, but that I could come out every day, bring my paddle, play with friends, and meet new people. I went from a circle of friends of maybe 15, 20 people in Park City to having over 200. And now, of course, I have a pickleball club of over 1,000. So, finding friendship and pickleball players is not an issue in my life.
When you think of pickleball, you think of kind of the other brother-sister sports. So you think of tennis. You also might think of table tennis. Is pickleball somewhere in the middle? Can you kind of explain it?
It is. People say it's like ping pong on steroids, because really it's a small paddle. It's a wiffle ball type of thing. But the thing with pickleball that people gravitate to, people play, compete closer together. So not only can you talk to people about how the point is going, but also people get a chance to meet people closer versus tennis is a bigger court. You can put 4 pickleball courts on one tennis court. So people don't have to move as fast. And if you're not as agile as maybe you were in your early 20s and you're more of an active adult, this sport fits perfectly because you can go out, you can get your exercise and your cardio and not have to worry about really pushing your body in order to get things accomplished.
Teamwork, camaraderie, ease on the body. That's kind of all the reasons why a lot of people are probably getting into this sport, which is very, very exciting. For you, what are some of your goals for the club? Do you want to just continue to grow it, or is it almost getting to a point where it's like, we need people to stop playing pickleball?
Well, the club's going to grow whether we react to it or not. So really, the club's main goal right now is to work with the county and the city to build dedicated pickleball courts. Because right now, as you can see tonight, we're playing on tennis courts, and we have up to 100 people a day playing on City Park tennis courts at the Trailside courts, and here at the Mark. And we just really want people to build dedicated pickleball courts so that the tennis can have their facility and we can have ours. So that's our number one goal. And the good news is the county and especially the city is looking at building both indoor pickleball courts and outdoor pickleball courts in the very near future.
What do you prefer, indoor or outdoor?
Well, indoor, we play indoor pickleball because of the fact it's a necessity. Here we are in the ski town. We can't play in the winter, so we have to play indoors. But nothing beats playing outside pickleball in Park City. I mean, the venues, the mountains, everything is so spectacular. People can't wait to get out there and just have a chance to have an activity where they can go out and enjoy their friends, play pickleball, and just enjoy the city and the environment.
From someone who has played tennis, as you have, what do you think are some of the skills that transfer over from tennis to pickleball?
Well, the best skills to have that tennis can provide for you is really hand-eye coordination and the quickness at the net. Tennis is it plays in this big court with big long strokes and that really elaborate the whole court size, versus pickleball is all miniaturized, it's smaller. So the skill set, you're playing at the net with very quick hands, and it's more tactical. It's not as much power as you might see in tennis. So people are doing more targeting shots in order to catch their opponents off guard versus try to overpower them.
For someone like myself who's actually grown up watching sports my whole life, one of my favorite athletes of all time is Roger Federer. How do you think Roger Federer would fare in a pickleball game?
Initially, he probably could play some 60-year-olds that have a hard time beating them, but it wouldn't take long. I've experienced it either teaching tennis players at a very high level to just tennis players that just have really good athletic ability. They can catch on very quickly and compete at a high level. And you look at the list of pros right now, so many of them have come out of tennis, mainly because maybe tennis just doesn't give them the motivation they have, or they don't have enough opportunities. There's only so many people in tennis can get to that very high level. Where pickleball, it's more social, people get together, and it's weekly. And the big difference in pickleball, the tournaments when they hold them, one day the entire tournament is completed versus a tennis player plays a tournament, it takes a whole week or two.
How can people get involved? How can people sign up and start helping towards building more courts and all those other things that you have goals for?
Well, anytime there's a survey from the city or county asking what kind of facilities we want to build, we want to make sure that everybody who plays pickleball or thinks they're going to play pickleball mentions the fact they'd love to see us build more facilities. They can join the Park City Pickleball Club, and then they just go to pcpickleballclub.com, and there's all the information on how to join the club, what our goals and our mission statement is for the club, and really we just want to help the city and the county facilitate building more pickleball courts for us.
Well, Greg, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait to continue to cover pickleball and continue to play it.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Scoreboard today. On Tuesday, we will be sitting down with another athlete out of South Summit. It's probably our biggest story coming into this next school year, and we will tell you a whole lot more about it in the near future. For the entire Scoreboard team, I am Blake O'Rulean, and we will see you all on Tuesday.